Recording in progress.
Okay, welcome everybody to the Murray Amateur Radio Club, February 20th in-person meeting. This is a two-part meeting. This first part, I'm going to talk about the donation that the Murray Amateur Radio Club received with the Heathkit radios. The second part we are not going to record. It is a Rat Pack presentation on getting the youth involved. So that'll be a very nice presentation. You can of course go online to Rat Pack, and they have quite a library of recorded shows that they do every Wednesday and Thursday. And so, but right now, let's go ahead and start off with, make sure, are you seeing the screen that's behind me? Okay, great. So, in this presentation, we're going to explore the significant contribution that Heathkit ham radios had to the amateur radio community. From the historical background to the recent donation that we received, we're going to discuss the impact on operators and the broader community. And I might make mention, this was produced by Copilot out of Microsoft Office. And so when I use Copilot, it's kind of like Microsoft's AI. I left things the way they are, the way it was produced, and added my pictures. And so the information that is presented here is all from Copilot. So we're going to talk just a little bit about Heathkit ham radios, a little bit about the donor, as in a sentence or two, and then our potential. So let's go on. Heathkit has been a significant player in the amateur radio field. It began in the 40s, creating kits that allowed hobbyists to build radios and other electronic devices. Their products became synonymous with quality and craftsmanship, making them a staple in the amateur radio community. Even the narrator notes was all produced by Copilot, so that's what I'm reading. But if you're familiar with Heathkits, you'll know that they are. They're not like a Collins or, there's a lot more, higher quality radios out there, but you're going to be hard pressed to find radios with tubes that, they were well built. And the best thing about it is they were done in kits. So you were able to make your own, which is really how you learned. Heathkit radios are more than just devices. They represent a legacy of do-it-yourself enthusiasm within the amateur radio community. Their kits have educated countless operators on radio technology, creating a knowledgeable and skilled base. And that is why the Elmers of today are so knowledgeable, because they built their own radios. Now, for 10 points extra credit, who can tell me what this picture is on the screen?
An antenna semaphore.
Yes. It kind of looks like that, huh? An antenna semaphore. Okay, maybe the next slide will give us a clue. So Heathkit radios are known for the reliability and innovative features. They include user-friendly designs, customizable options, and robust performance that cater to both novice and experienced operators. So extremely well built. There's another clue there. Who is that guy? And he has a Heathkit radio in the background. It was in a movie. Well, it's more than a movie. It was a series.
Westman Smith?
No. Okay, we'll go on. So the donor is a retired active ham radio operator that just wants to retire his old radios to a group that would appreciate it. And so his name is James, and he doesn't want, that's all I'm going to say about him, but he was very generous in what he donated, and we're going to talk about that. Now this, okay, here's another picture there. This should give it away. Stranger Things. Yeah. So they.
By the way, had so many inaccuracies about him.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious. But at least they had it in there and they got the idea correct, right? But I love the antenna array that he used right on the hill. And it's just like.
It's a combination of tender Yagi and closing.
Yeah, exactly. Good stuff. So anyway, anytime you get a significant donation, I'm going to use this donation to help teach members of Mark about radios and whatnot. And there's a lot of different models that was given to us, and they each do things, and not all of them work, but we're going to take a look at it. So, what was donated? Okay, an SA 2040 HF tuner. This is able to handle between 200 and 2,000 watts. This is a working tuner, so that's kind of cool. An SB104 HF transceiver, 80 to 10 meter, SSB and CW, 100 watt. It has two power settings, high and low, 100 watt and 1 watt, which I think is great.
Oh, you need parts in the air then.
Yeah, exactly. A linear amplifier, 1,000 watt output, 80 to 10. So that's. I couldn't find the model on that. All of these are in my storage unit locked up. So, but.
That must be 200, the 220 was a 2,000 watt input amplifier, so about 1,500 output on CDs.
Then we have SB401, another 100 watt. This one is mated with this is just a transmitter, which, you have these Heathkit pieces of equipment, and it's not like today where you have a transceiver, where the receiver and transmitter are in the same radio. That, in this era, we're talking the 50s and 60s, there is a separate radio for the receiver, and this one happens to be a transmitter. Now I don't have the SB303, but the 401 I do. And then I have this 634 station console, and I looked at some YouTube videos on this, and this is a pretty interesting piece of equipment where you put your this goes in line before it hits the antenna, and it does a lot of things, including a 10-minute timer, and it's all using the old-time displays. There's no LCDs on these radios, right? Or LEDs or any of that stuff. It's all. What do you call those? I'm sorry.
No, it's
Not-
flat fluorescent panel.
Yeah, fluorescent. Yeah, they're fluorescent tubes. So.
tubes would be cool.
That would be cool. I would love that.
The manual phone patches were used for decades before free long distance was commonplace, by hams to connect overseas deployed servicemen with their families in the U.S. on weekends and stuff. It was really cool to listen to. That was a huge service that really got hams appreciated.
How do I get my phone connected?
Okay, and then we got another SB102. This is a transceiver, 100 watt. It was first introduced in 1970. Fun stuff. You can't have a Heathkit radio without the speaker. One thing that was funny is they made these speakers so that, it was just a regular 8-ohm speaker. It's actually like a 9x6. It's quite large. But it was in a very big case. It was a good 12 inches deep and 9.5 inches tall and whatever. And it was made so that they could put a power supply for other devices in there, the SB series. So
Well,
It was a dual-purpose box.
they kept the power supply out of the radio because back in the day, especially with tubes, it was easy to get a hum and other things in there. And the power supply components were pretty heavy. You know?
Yeah. And I have one that has a power supply in there, and it is pretty heavy. So there's the SB. And then a Dranitz meter. Can you believe it? This is a working Dranitz meter. Now, I use Dranitz meters in my old job, and so James, he says, Dan, what about this here? And I looked at it and go, is that a Dranitz meter? And the fact that I knew what a Dranitz meter was says, well, do you want it? Because no one knows what it is, right? Now, we'll never be able to use it, but there's some history right there. And the intricacies that are involved with that, pretty wild.
You could learn to use a nano VNA in a tenth of the time that it did.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. We got a Mars SWR tester. So, and that's a working item there, an ICOM packet controller. So on some of this stuff, if people have a use for it, I'm not giving the Dranitz meter away, but this ICOM packet controller, anybody who wants it, first person gets it.
That looks like a full receiver. It says receiver on it.
Communications receiver, yeah.
So that's like an early SDR. And that it might be actually a superhead that's computer controlled. That's it, because it's got an antenna port on it. It's not just a modem.
Right.
That was a wideband receiver.
So that's up for grabs. Anybody who wants it, member of the Mark Club. There's a power supply and AIM 4170 antenna analyzer. I try to do some lookup. I found some manuals on all this stuff here. So I've never heard of the AIM 4170. Then there's a VersaTuner 941 Delta MFJ and AEA PK232 data controller. That was expensive in the day. So, and last but not least, come on. Wait a second. There we go. Yeah. An MT3000A antenna tuner. This actually is a very, very good antenna tuner. A lot of people have a lot of good things about that. It's a 200-watt dummy load. So anyway, some fun things to play with. Anyway, that's what we have donated to the club.
So did we get the build manuals for any of these stick here?
It's a matter of finding them and printing them out on the internet. So, no.
That's a bummer.
Yep.
These kids made some amazing kits.
Yeah.
They were really easy to follow the instructions, really easy to understand, and they taught you things along the way. It wasn't just put this here, it was why is this here, and this is why we're doing this, you know. So there was a lot of information in those manuals that was really great.
And they were actually designed to be hand assembled by amateurs.
They were, yeah.
And they could be ordered with the test equipment needed to do every step of the way too.
Yeah. Back in 1983, I built a computer terminal that was a boot kit. And it was a H29 terminal, which was the same system as the Zenith Z29 terminal, but I put it together myself. And so I had to align the video to the CRT with a text of it, crisp and straight and everything. Little magnets that you put on the harness and adjusted them so the thing would line up correctly. Very cool stuff. to do that.
So, a couple other things, we get other donations. I just got an LED light panel donated by Gordon. Thank you, Gordon, for the trailer. And Sam, he is donating some equipment to Mark, so thank you very much to do that. All this is in an effort for teaching and making us better hams. So, does anybody have any questions before I turn the time over to Jan? Okay.